Welcome everyone to our 14th Philadelphia Accident and Injury Google Hangout. My name is Renee and I'll be your host for today's Hangout. Joining us again is Rand Spear, Philadelphia's accident attorney. In our previous Hangout, we've talked about different types of accidents and injuries, but have not yet touched on injuries caused by accidents at work. Today we're going to talk about workers' compensation and work-related accidents. Rand, how you doing in Philadelphia?
I'm doing well, Renee. It's a nice day, a little overcast, but it's in the high 60s. It's a nice day overall. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Many workers believe that if they get hurt on the job, they will be taken care of by workers' comp, and that it's a headache-free to get taken care of medically and financially.
Well, workers' compensation is insurance coverage that's offered through your employer. So if you do get hurt on the job, you should be covered for workers' compensation benefits. But keep in mind you need to promptly report it to your supervisor. You will be required to initially treat with one of the employer's doctors, and they will attempt to diagnose you and find out what's wrong with you. If you're not able to work, you could also be entitled to wages during the time period that you are unable to work.
Are there any time limits that an injured worker must meet in order to be eligible for workers' comp?
You know, there are time limits. So it's very important, I would say, to act promptly and then to seek your own legal attorney to represent you. Because keep in mind, the workers' compensation is really looking out for the employer, and the doctor that they send you to gets paid through the insurance of the employer. So no one's really in your corner at that point. So you really should promptly contact an attorney, find out what your rights are, what the time requirements are, and make sure that you do everything to make you entitled to collect both workers' compensation benefits for the medical and workers' compensation benefits for your income.
Fair to say that the sooner the better.
Yes.
Aside from medical care, what other compensation is available to injured workers?
Well, there's different laws in different states, but generally speaking, you're entitled to not only medical care, as you said, but you're also entitled to collect the wages, or a percentage, up to 80% of the wages that you would have been collecting had you not been injured. And then in many instances where they determine that it's a permanent injury, you would then be entitled to go for what's called a lump sum commutation, where they take a certain period of benefits, whether they be medical and or income, and they give it to you all at one time. And then the claim is over, you have the money, and you can go on with your life.
What goes into figuring out what is a partial disability or a total disability? You know, how do they figure that out?
Well, usually it's the doctor reports and the diagnostic tests and studies that you have. And a lot of times they work with vocational experts, and they look at the type of job that you have. What are the physical requirements of that job? Are you able to do that job with the injuries that you have? Are the injuries permanent? Does it create a partial disability or a total disability? So there really are a lot of factors, and that's why you really should have someone in your corner, on your side, who's looking out for you and doing what's in your best interest.
Well, I'm glad I'm talking to you, Rand. You know, sometimes we hear things, and I've been told that in some cases, such as in a construction accident, that liability can be established for an outside company through a lawsuit, for example, one that provided defective scaffolding or other equipment.
Well, that's true. Just because you're injured on the job at work does not mean that you may be entitled to seek additional compensation from a third party that is not your employer. So to use your example, if the scaffolding company was owned by a completely separate and distinct company and they were negligent and that negligence caused your injuries and caused you to miss time from work, they could be responsible for that. So again, speak with a lawyer, give him as much information as you can about your accident, how it happened, where it happened, why it happened, so that they can give you the best information, the best legal advice possible, and point you in the right direction, and be able to go after whatever type of monetary damages you're entitled to.
Again, calling you is important as soon as possible. In your 30 years of experience, would you recommend that a worker apply for workers' comp without the help of an attorney? And do employers usually have an attorney?
Absolutely, I would. I think it's in everyone's best interest to speak with an attorney. You know, calling my office or practically any personal injury lawyer's office, you can talk to them. There's no charge to talk to them, to get some advice, to find out what's going on with your case, what rights or benefits you're entitled to. So really there's no downside, there's only upside to speak with a lawyer, find out what it's all about, because everyone else, their interests are different than your interests, and you really need to get someone whose only interest is that of yours.
I get it. You have a case in Pennsylvania or New Jersey related to any accident or injury, please call Rand Spear, the accident lawyer, at 888-373-4LAW, or you can visit the firm at www.randspear.com. Again, Rand, it's always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you, Renee. Good to see you too.
And sharing your experience and knowledge with our audience will hopefully result in less accidents and injuries with a better informed public. I want to thank everyone again for making this possible. Invite our audience to come back next week and hang out when we'll be discussing a new and important topic.
I look forward to it.
You have a great day, Rand.
Thanks, Renee. You too.
Goodbye.